Hello everyone, welcome to iQuanta, and today we have brought one of the kind of an interview with Anugya Singh. Hi Anugya, welcome.
Hi.
So guys, let me introduce Anugya to you first before we begin. Anugya is currently studying in NLU Delhi, which is, as you all know, one of the best NLUs that you can find in the country. And Anugya had gotten a rank of
37.
Right. So we'll do these fill-ups throughout the session today. So be ready for that. So Anugya ने अपने एक busy schedule से time निकाला. You know NLUs को getting throughout them is not as easy. It's definitely exciting but not so easy. So I'm really glad. Thank you so much for coming, Anugya. And we'll be beginning with a few questions. ये वो क्वेश्चंस होंगे जो काफी सारे एस्पिरेंट्स के दिमाग में अक्सर आते हैं बट समझ नहीं आता कि इनका आंसर देगा कौन. बट a person who has himself or herself taken the exam and not just taken it but also scored so well in it. So let's begin with the first thing जो सबसे cliched question है but I have to ask Anugya, there is a calling I have to ask, why law? What made you choose law as a career?
Okay, so I've always been someone who loves reading, and I would read books all the time. I would read novels while classes were going on, right? And then when I was in class 11, there was this senior of mine who got into NLSIU, and my mom knew her mother.
All right.
So yeah, and then she was like, you know what, this thing would be extremely great for you. So she made me go to a coaching institute for 1 year, and I went there, and I loved taking the mocks. I know people hate mocks, but I love mocks. I love mocks.
Right.
Yeah, so and I think that's when I thought, yeah, this is something that I would be really great at, and why not just try it? Yeah.
That's really nice, and I think it is one of the new ways of understanding कि आपको क्या करना पसंद है. वो आपको तब समझ में आता है शायद जब आप मेन क्लासेस से हटके जो चीज कर रहे होते हो. Like as she mentioned, she liked to read. Meanwhile, she had her classes also. Though I like to eat my lunch. So not very ambitious. But here we have one example who actually pursued what she really liked doing, and great. So I think law really has been a great journey for you so far. Right. Okay. So finally when you decided that you will be pursuing law as your career, so कौन-कौन से exams आपने सोचे? Of course AILET है because you're already in NLU Delhi. So what else was there?
I took CLAT, I took LSAT. I had also filled the form for MHCT, but that was later, and I already got into NLUD, and I was like, yeah, why go out in the pandemic? So I didn't go for it. And SLAT I gave, symbiosis, so that was fun.
Okay.
And yeah.
Great. So then finally you got a rank of 37 in AILET, and the year was for your AILET exam was 2020, right?
The one that got postponed.
Yes. Anugya now is a 4th year senior in NLU Delhi. तो अगर आप इस साल भी AILET देके आप वहाँ पहुँचते हैं तो she will be your super duper senior. So you can have some perks of having your seniors there as well already that you know of. And Alright, this is great. So then, Anugya, क्या preparation strategy थी आपकी? एक होता है ना कि when you dived into it, so how did you begin with it? Start कैसे हुआ पहले तो?
Yes, so I told you that when I was in class 11, I had a senior who got into NLS. So that's when I bought a book, which was basically CLAT question papers. And I would just take the mocks, but that wasn't really a strategy. So in class 12, I joined a coaching institution, and it was a 1-year program, and I think I got a little more time because of the pandemic.
Yes.
It was amazing.
Lucky
I
you.
loved it.
At least you were lucky in the pandemic.
I was.
Right.
Yeah, so that entire year I prepared. And so I'm also a person who has had a habit of reading the newspaper. I used to read the newspaper more than I would study for school. Wow. And my mom used to get angry at me for that. But I had the GK thing down. I was good at the English comprehension passages. And then there's logical reasoning and legal reasoning, obviously, right? So when you go to a coaching institute and you take legal reasoning classes, which are very important. You need to understand the concepts before you solve the questions. Right? And then you have data interpretation and you have quants basically.
Right.
So all that, it was, I think an year is enough to prepare for it. But if you have 2 years, you should go for that.
Then nothing better than that, I guess, right?
For sure.
So then this is really nice that I think your reading habit helped you throughout. So one important pointer here for all of you कि newspaper पढ़ना बहुत important है. She is lucky that she liked reading it already, but not all of us are. So, but ये है कि अगर आपके पास time है तो right now also you can inculcate, the habit of reading newspaper. So, of course, exam के time तक आप और अच्छे से उसको समझ पाएंगे, and it will also reduce your time of reading as well. True.
That is very important because you have so many paragraphs. You have paragraphs in English, you have in legal reasoning, you have everywhere.
It's all
Yeah.
passage thing. Right. That's right. Okay, so अभी जैसे एक देखते हैं कि because GK was your I will say a strong and interesting zone, to be honest, है ना? So how did you go ahead with it? Like, of course, newspapers, but what did you do? Like, you made notes out of them or not? Or like, what was your plan for GK, current affairs in GK?
Yeah. So I would read the newspaper every day. I used to read 2 newspapers. One was an extra one, which was a Hindi newspaper.
Yeah.
Don't do that. If you don't have time, don't do that. But other than that, like we used to have GK classes.
Okay.
In the coaching. And then every day you would get a like deep dive into a specific topic, and they would provide it for you. So you don't have to look for it, right? And then you get questions on that same passage, and that is something that I've seen on like your website also.
Yes.
You have a daily like passage and questions based on that, which is CLAT pattern. So that is amazing.
Yeah.
You need that. Other than that, take a lot of mocks. The amount of mocks I took, I think I took more than 100 mocks, which was like insane, but it was the pandemic, so that's fine.
Right.
And analyze those mocks. And for GK, something that really helped me was I would just take the mock, and afterwards I would just take the answer script and kind of learn the answers. So it's what type of news would you have in a mock? Something that's relevant, that's like really important in that time, right? And then you have questions, and then I know that subject very well. And I would revise every week and have a notebook specifically dedicated to GK.
Right. So in a way we can say कि जो mocks का analysis या फिर जो उसका explanation होता है, that worked as a mini booklet for you rather, you know, as a notes book, and up from those you made further notes for current. But that's a really smart strategy, क्योंकि हम लोग कई बार क्या होता है कि हम bigger newspaper से segregate करने की कोशिश करते हैं, तो we tend to divert a lot and miss out on the real good points.
And but not all of that is important.
Exactly. But of course mocks में अगर वो topic आ रहा है तो हम उसको पे ज़्यादा focus करेंगे. That's a really, you should like remember this, guys. That's a really good pointer. And do mocks. 100 but
as many as you can.
Yes, that is the point. She could do that number, तो आपको भी जितना at least minimal जो है वो आपको करना चाहिए. All right, that's good. And then what did you do for English? Like, it was a strong point for sure, but like still, you know, there is some kind of strategy that is required for the exam specific preparation, right?
For sure.
So how did you go with it? Because बच्चों के passages में अक्सर काफी गलतियाँ होती हैं in
and
understanding
you have to
stuff.
read it in a like very limited time,
Right,
so
exactly.
which is very difficult.
Right.
So one thing I would suggest that like I think everyone suggests Norman Lewis, like word power made easy. Please read it. Please don't just read it. Please answer it while you go through it. Use a pencil. Do not use a pen. And then in a few months, when you forget about what you wrote, you just rub it all and then do it again.
Right.
Okay. And other than that, while you're attempting the paper, have some. Okay, so I'll tell you how I used to take the entire mock. So first of all, I would do the GK section, which would be 10 minutes and not more than that. So either you know the answer, either you do not know the answer.
Brainstorm क्या करोगे उसमें, right? Yeah, true.
You cannot like just And then the next 30 minutes would be for English. And I would read the passage because it is very important to read the passage. Please do not do the mistake of just going through the questions and being like, yeah, I know the answer. You do not. Read the passage and then go through the questions, and then you remember in the passage like this. And for that, you need to have a reading habit, obviously. Right. And you go through the passage, you go through the questions, and then you remember, oh, this specific question is from this part of the passage. And then you refer to it. Because you cannot afford to have a minus, like negative marking on a paper on a question that you can have a good mark on. So do that, and do not exceed the time limit, because there are so many sections. You cannot just spend too much time on a section where if you're slow at reading, please like read editorials, read books, read the books that are suggested to you by like your faculty.
Okay, Anugya, thank you so much for English and GK. But बहुत बड़ा पाप हो जाएगा मुझसे अगर मैंने आपसे एक question और नहीं पूछा तो, which is your basic strategy for legal area. क्योंकि school वगैरह में तो हम नहीं legal पढ़ते हैं, right? तो but it's a very new thing.
Some people do have that as a subject.
Yeah, आजकल मैंने देखा है like you are getting legal studies, right? मतलब मेरे time में there was nothing like that. Handshake on that. But yes, so I think then you can be an answer to a lot of students जिनके पास legal studies या तो option ही नहीं है school में, या उन्होंने opt नहीं किया होगा for the time being.
Which is very valid.
Yeah, which is very valid, right? So like, what was your strategy for legal studies? Okay. How did you begin with it?
I was in a 1-year classroom program, right? So I would go to classes. It would be on Saturdays and Sundays, and then I would study a subject, not even a subject, like within the subject, the topic.
Right.
And there would be TOS, there would be CRIM, there would be a lot of other things. Then you study it and you have a teacher that you ask your doubts from, obviously. And then during mocks, again, mocks. Do mocks because you, in legal also, you need to read the passage, you need to understand what's been asked.
Right.
Because it is a thing where they like ask very tricky questions for legal reasoning, and it is legal reasoning. So just knowing the theory is not enough.
True.
You have to practice through mocks. So do mocks, have some background info on it, and there are a lot of YouTube channels, there are a lot of sources that you can read from. So read about the topics. There are specific topics that you have to know, and then do mocks. Again, do mocks. Do as many mocks as you can.
Right. Because practicing is really important. याद करके रख लोगे कि बस उसी दिन जाके मैं तो सारा कुछ लिख के आ जाऊंगा. It's practically not possible, right? So practice आपको करनी है, and you get to learn a lot from your mistakes in the mock as well. So that's right.
And the more mistakes you make in the mock, like if you do a mistake, you're more likely to remember it.
Right. And to not repeat that in the exam.
Yes, in the actual exam, which matters.
Right. That's true. And इसीलिए there is a pointer for you guys again that mocks में अगर आप कम भी score करते हो तो please don't get demotivated with it. You just make sure कि जिस point पे आपने यहाँ negative mark लिया है, you are not getting the same kind of negative marking in your actual D-Day exam, right? So this is how what is the purpose of mocks. वरना मैं अनुज्ञा से mocks का score पूछ रही होती, AILET का CLAT का score या फिर उनका rank नहीं, right? So that's how we know it's not, the score is not relevant. Your consistency is really important, and consistency brings me to the next question.
Yes.
That throughout this entire journey of your preparation as an aspirant, what was like the thing that kept you motivated in the first place, and that kept you away from the distractions also? So what was the raz, or what was the secret behind your consistency basically?
Okay, first of all, unpopular opinion, but I didn't have a phone. I didn't have a smartphone. I had like the Nokia phone. So distraction is gone. But I had a tab. Other than that, like my interests were also reading books.
Right.
And then it does pay off in the long run.
Right,
but other than that, you need to make a schedule. And also like the more mocks you give, the more you understand which subject you need to focus on.
Correct.
And me spending 10 minutes on GK doesn't mean that you spend 10 minutes on GK. It is something that develops after giving a lot of mocks.
Right.
Okay. And so for GK, for sure, because GK is never ending. They ask from like the year before, sometimes even before that, which is something that they shouldn't do.
Right.
But and up till the very date of the exam, we did not stop preparing for GK. We would have like the deep dive on one specific subject every day. And then there was another thing that I used to do, that I would go onto the like internet and then just type out that subject.
Right.
And go into the news section. So I find out new things, and then in my GK notebook, I just add it.
Got it. Right.
Yeah, and then you revise. You need to revise every week, at least 2 days. Revise. Do not like study anything new on that day. Revise what you have studied, and like make sure that you are analyzing your mocks.
Correct.
And so I used to get great marks in mocks. So that just makes you like want to take more mocks, which just increases your score. And other than that, I would just look up places in Bangalore that I could visit after I am in NLSI.
Right. That is like a manifesting what you really want.
I'm already there.
Yeah. Correct. Okay. So meanwhile, like as you mentioned about this, so like since you are also a mentor at iQuanta's CLAT course, so another introduction I would like to begin. Hi everyone, please meet Anugya Singh, and she studies in NLU Delhi, 4th year student, and she also is a mentor at the iQuanta's CLAT course. And on that note, I think it's the most relevant also to ask that how important do you think is guidance apart from just coachings and stuff, but a guidance from a person who is your buddy, who can be your senior, just someone who has taken the exams a few years ago only, right? So Anugya, I think it's quite relevant to ask you that how important is mentorship in this entire journey of your CLAT preparation or AILET preparation, or exam preparation basically?
Yeah.
What do you think?
So I think mentors are really, really important, especially because your performance in the exam depends on like which sections you're good at, which sections you need more work on, and that is something that you need someone to tell you, someone with experience, someone who has gone through the same thing, which I think having a mentor who has like very recently taken the exam is important, because they're aware of like what sections to focus on, what order to go in, because I would like not recommend starting with a subject that you're not good at.
Correct.
Because then your confidence level goes down, and there's a lot of things.
True.
Right? So you need someone who like looks at your progress, who looks at the amount of time you're spending at a specific subject, and then has the knowledge and the to your preparation, who can like tell you ki, oh, you need to focus on this, you need to focus on that a little bit more, you need to not spend so much time on a section that you would not be scoring that well in. Right.
And so I think the concept of study buddy that we say, so mentor can really be your study buddy and a study guide as well.
Study buddy with an experience also,
and not just कि कोई नहीं bro कुछ नहीं होता मैंने भी नहीं पढ़ा तू भी मत पढ़ it's okay कल कर लेंगे true that's disastrous. Don't have such kind of a study buddy.
Please don't.
So I think that was really like insightful on that note, Anugya. So I think we can go ahead with a rapid fire now, which I am most excited about, right? So let me bring my diary of coffee with iQuanta. We'll give you coffee, don't worry.
Sure.
Right? So we have a few questions. So Anugya, are you ready for the rapid fire?
I am.
Hamper हम देते हैं कुछ ना कुछ वो हम छुपा के रखते हैं.
I'll get it. For sure.
All right. So your first question in the rapid fire is corporate law or judiciary?
Oh God, judiciary.
Great. All right. Second, suits or jolly LLB? India में सच्चाई क्या है?
Oh God, jolly LLB for sure. Go to a trial court internship, you will know.
I know. I had once gone for a trial court internship. I couldn't I was like, where is the judge? फाइलों के नीचे बेचारा. I was like, अनारकली हो गया है. तो seriously, I was like, don't get demotivated, guys. High courts and Supreme Courts are really nice.
It's fun. Even the street courts are like amazing.
Right. Nice. All right. Next question is one character in the legal, movies or any kind of web series that you relate to.
Elwoods. Like, have you seen Legally Blonde?
I haven't.
Please do. If you're a woman who's trying to get into law, watch it. Fun.
Nice. All right. This is interesting, and I hope nobody relevant is watching this one right now. One law that you recently violated.
Oh my God. So I crossed the road where like from a place that I should not have crossed it from, and I almost got hit. So it was my fault. It's fine.
So hit and run का लगता बेचारे किसी और पे.
Jaywalking is not a crime in India, right?
True. All right. Yeah. So, Acha, one good thing about NLU Delhi, the best thing about NLU Delhi.
We don't have a curfew. Other than that, we have amazing teachers sometimes, and like the seminars are so amazing. We have seminars from 4th year, and we invite people from outside, and that is amazing. Like.
Another point why you should consider going to NLU Delhi.
We also have AC hostels, so.
Now I feel like sad for myself.
You need it in Delhi.
Yeah, that's one thing, right? True. All right, and one bad thing about NLU Delhi, like as a student who like wouldn't have the greatest experience, the reason for that.
There are some classes that could be structured way better, like way.
All right. Fair enough. She's going to be a real diplomatic
I can't
lawyer.
say it. I'm still in college.
Yeah, we'll have one more interview after 1 year.
After I graduate.
Then we'll have the topic will be this only. All right. So I think it was a fun and so informative session, Anugya. I personally thoroughly enjoyed talking to you, and I hope, guys, that you enjoyed and got to learn a lot from the experiences from your seniors, your mentors, and people who have topped the exams that you are looking forward to crack in the upcoming year. And if you have more doubts about any kind of prep or strategy, or your understanding of the exam, Anugya is a mentor with iQuanta's CLAT course.
I would be happy. Like it would be amazing. I love talking to people who are preparing for exams. Like,
so
amazing.
You have a genie, guys. Okay, you just have to ask your wish, and I think it will be quite much fulfilled at iQuanta's hands. So what you all can do is that there will be a link in the description of this video that is up for a free study community, and you have your mentors there as well. So आप वो join कर सकते हैं, and you can get to talk to Anugya and other mentors over there as well. And I think I can say thank you so much, Anugya, for coming up, because this was long planned, but वो हो नहीं पा रहा था because of a lot of things, because they had their exams and everything also.
Yeah, and NLU is challenging, but it's amazing. Please come.
Challenges are good. I think lawyers को तो challenges के बिना, I think what is the point? If there is no challenge.
Then you're not
whatsoever.
being prepared for the field of law.
True that, right? So I think thank you so much, Anugya. Once
you so
again,
much
it was
for having
great
me.
talking to you, and thank you so much, everyone, and all the best for your exam. And take care, everyone. Bye.